Hey guys, how's it going? Getting ready to go do a carpet job right now. Thought I'd take you along with me. So in one of my past videos you may have seen, I said there's 5 parts to every business. You have to create value, marketing, sales, deliver on the value, and accounting. Well, the first step is value, and there's so many different ways to provide value that it can kind of be overwhelming and you don't really know where to start. So today I want to talk about the 12 basic forms of value and help you kind of organize your thoughts a little bit. This way you can choose a business that works best for you, or you can improve your existing business by implementing another form of value. So let me go get set up on this job and then I'll be back in a minute. So I want to go through a list of the 12 forms of value. This list comes from a book called The Personal MBA. I'm going to link it down below. If people exchange money for value, there are so many different options to choose from. You could start a cleaning business, a restaurant, you could become a contractor. You got all these ideas bouncing around your head and you don't really know where to start, and it can be so overwhelming that you never actually begin. So I want to go over just the 12 basic forms of value that you can deliver. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the overview of the list right now, and then in my next 12 videos I'll break down each and every one of these forms of value so that you have a better understanding of it and maybe get some ideas. You can use this to start a new business, or if you already have a business, you can use this to add new services and new value to your existing customers so that you can increase revenue and profits and just have a better business all around. So the first one is a product. You can create an item and then sell it for more than the item cost you to create. That was kind of obvious and you guys already know all about that. The second one is going to be service. So you could provide help or assistance and charge a fee. That's what I do. I clean floors, I clean buildings, I wash windows, I do pressure washing. My company is a service-based business, and I do something that other people don't really want to do themselves or can't do themselves, and I charge a fee for that. The third one is a shared resource. So you could create a durable asset that can be used by multiple people, then charge access for it. So one, just off the top of my head, might be a gym. You could buy some dumbbells, a treadmill, a sauna, and charge people a fee to come in and use that stuff, because it might be impossible for a lot of people to go out and buy all these things and have access to it. So if you provide access to that for a smaller fee, that's a way of providing value. The fourth one is a subscription. So that might be something like Netflix or Comcast or your cell phone service. There's a lot of boxes that come in the mail on a subscription. If you just offer a benefit on an ongoing basis and charge a fee for it, that's a subscription. The fifth is resale. So you acquire an asset from somebody else and then you sell it for a markup. So a good example of that would be my friend. He owns a gas station and he buys candy bars and beer and wine and all this stuff and then resells it to the general public for a markup. The sixth is a lease. So you acquire an asset and you give someone access to it over a defined period of time in exchange for a set amount of money. So that could be like leasing an apartment, leasing cars, things along those lines. Sometimes people don't have all the money they need, but they still want to use something, so they'll lease it. Number 7 is called agency, and that's where you're marketing and selling a different product that you don't own. You're doing it on behalf of someone else in exchange for a fee or a commission. I worked at a place that sold cell phones, and we would sell Verizon, Sprint, AT&T. We didn't own the service, but we sold it on behalf of those people. And then the store that I worked for would get a commission and a fee based on how much we sold. You can do that with like affiliate marketing and things like that through YouTube or your blog or whatever. Number 8 is audience aggregation. And that's basically building a group of people, getting the attention of a big group of people with certain characteristics, then finding companies that want to reach that group of people and selling advertising to that group. That could be something like building a YouTube channel, building a blog, building a TV station, a radio station, things along those lines. One time I went to a Tony Robbins event, and maybe I'll talk about that later because that's an interesting story. But basically, he used his name to get a whole bunch of people to show up to a conference center. Then he had a bunch of like multi-level marketing scammers sell their ideas to that entire group of people. These people wanted to improve their lives, start businesses, that type of thing. They were there to see Tony Robbins. They were there to get inspired. And instead of Tony being there all day, he actually just had a whole bunch of speakers there who were just pitching bullshit products all day long. It was a total waste of time. But that actually is an example of audience aggregation. He had like big billboards and advertising on the radio and TV saying he was coming to town. Then he got all of us into one place so that he could sell our time to the advertisers that were willing to pay him. Number 9 is a loan. So you give somebody a certain amount of money and then they pay you payments until it's paid back, and then you get a little bit more in interest. And it doesn't just have to be as straightforward as that. I mean, I worked for a furniture store one time, and one of the main things we would sell is loans. You'd get people to apply for a loan for furniture or whatever. They get approved for $2,500. Then you sell them a whole living room set. Then they can make payments on it. And they're getting furniture. They're not even thinking about getting a loan. They think that they're just buying some furniture, and really what you're selling is a loan. I mean, you're selling both. You're getting money for the furniture that you sold, but then you're also making money on the interest that you sold them. Number 10 is an option. This is where you can sell an option to do something. So you could think of that as like a concert ticket or a movie ticket. When someone buys this little ticket from you, that would reserve a seat for them so that they can go to this event. And it's up to them if they want to do it or not. Something better might come along and they might not do it. But by purchasing this ticket, they're buying the option to attend the event that you're selling. Number 11 is insurance. This is where you take on all the risk of something bad happening to the person you're insuring or the item that you're insuring, and hoping that it doesn't. And then if it does, you have to pay the policyholder. Insurance is pretty common. We all have to have it. Basically, if you spread out that risk over a whole bunch of people, you're just hoping that you have more people paying the premium than claims going out. They even have small insurance policies. Like if you buy a piece of equipment, they might ask if you want the insurance on it. If you buy a cell phone, you get Apple Care, things like that. The 12th way to provide value would be through capital. This way, you give a company a portion of your money, and then you own a part of that company. Then that company pays you a piece of the profits as it comes in over time. Or if the company goes big, you can get a one-time payout and get big rewards for taking that risk and using your capital. Now, the cool thing is, if there's 12 forms of value that you can bring to the world, you can actually mix and match these in your business. So for me, I provide a service. I might go out and I might use this buffer to wax floors. And that would be a service that I provide. I can also provide a subscription value. So that means I could go into customer locations on a nightly or weekly basis and do some nightly janitorial for them. And I have them on a contract where we just keep showing up and they keep paying the bill. I can also use the agency form of value by selling services that other people offer. So I have a friend who owns a floor company where he installs floors. And if I ever come across a floor that's just totally hammered, I can send that business over to him. And then he'll give me a piece of the pie when the deal closes and he makes his money on it. On the other side, I actually have a relationship with my supplier, the guy who I buy all my chemicals and supplies from. And anytime someone comes into his store and they're thinking about maybe doing their floor on their own, instead of encouraging them to buy the supplies and do the floor on their own, he actually passes the business on to me. Then I buy the supplies they were going to use anyway, but they get a professional deal, and I give him a little bit of a kickback on that transaction as well. So all three of us win. So that's just kind of a quick overview of the 12 forms of value that you can offer. Now, in the next 12 videos that I put out, I'm going to dive into each one of them, and I'm going to show you some common pitfalls, some things that you may want to do, some things you want to avoid. So be sure to turn on your notifications so that you can be updated when these new videos come out. If you want to do what you want, when you want, how you want, for who you want, and how much you want, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you guys next time.